Good.
Dr. Elizabeth Lucas is a dynamic and motivation speaker. She is based in the United Kingdom. She is the founder and director of YYCI International. She has been invited to several international conferences to speak and lecture. She is an intelligent teacher, author, and she is a mentor to the younger generation. Please subscribe to YYCI TV on YouTube to watch her amazing videos. You will be glad you did.
This is just to let you know that there's nothing too difficult for you to do.
If we can change, then everything around us will change.
Without wisdom, you can't really create wealth. We're in the world of creativity. Okay, welcome to Y.Y.C.I International, a home of deluxe discovery, development, and demonstration, a home of love, relationship, and family, a place of mastering masters for transformation and building deeper relationship. YYCI blueprint is time, TIME, for the youth leaders, and young families, transforming and training, inspiration and impartation, mentoring and motivation, empowering and education. YYCI mission is to engage the youth minds positively and take positive actions to help them to focus, not to be distracted, and to get better and better, and let them know they have everything in them to be successful and fulfilling their purpose. And once they believe in themselves and take action and change their mindset and focus on their development, they can also help others to get better. And that is why YYC is established. We arrange masterclass like the one we are doing this morning, workshops and conferences and seminars monthly. Our youth need us to guide them, lead them, mentor them, and save them from destructions, misguided, abuse, and confusion. Our youth need us to listen to them, give them opportunities, platforms to express themselves, their concern, their ideas, missions, dreams, aspirations, and visions, to network both locally and nationally, globally, and to empower them to do something great for their lives and future, to reposition themselves, knowing who they are and their why and purpose. Our youth need mentors, coaches, advisors, guardians. They need us to lead the way and lay example for them to follow. And that is why YYC is inviting Professor Ravinder Rena this morning to give us, to teach us, to train us, to empower us, and to mentor us on the subject of his chosen. Okay, these are all our various programs that we do. And these are all our books that we've written. And you can grab your copies from www.amazon.com or YYCIinternational.com, YYCI International by Elizabeth.com, or elizabethcreations.co.uk. You can also contact us on Facebook Live, as we're doing this on Facebook, Elizabeth Lucas or Elizabeth Lucas II, or YYCI International. Now we're going to go straight to our speaker so that we can learn and share and enjoy this amazing topic on servant leadership for a better future. And who is the person that will be sharing with us his wealth of wisdom, knowledge, and experience? So let me just quickly share with you the person. Okay, Professor Dr. Ravinder Rena is from South Africa. is a profound academician and distinguished scholar in economics, writer, editor, advisor, motivational speaker, and public intellectual with over 31 years of teaching and research experience in Asia Pacific, Africa, and European continents. He has been an independent consultant and training expert. Professor Rena is currently working as Professor of Economics at DUT Business School, Faculty of Management Science, Durban, University of Technology, DUT, Durban, South Africa. He also served as an adjunct professor of economics for master's and doctorate programs at Monarch Business School, Monarch University, Agedon, Zug, Switzerland. Professor Rena served as the Honorary Country Director, South Africa, for the International Intensive University, and Igniting Dreams of Youth Mind, DYM, Global University, India. He served as President, South Africa, for the Yes You Can International, YYCI, UK. Further, he works as a visiting professor for many universities, notable the Surrey University, the Kotak, India, and a distinguished professor at SPASH, Global Business School, New Delhi, India. He also served as the Global President, Economic Affairs of the All India Sustainable Development Council, AISDC. Previously, he worked as a professor of economics and internationalization project leader at the NWU Business School, Northwest University, South Africa. He served as a professor of economics at the Department of Economics, University of the Western Cape, Cape Town, South Africa. He also served as a professor and the coordinator of the Joint African Master Program, JAMP, Harrow Purvis Graduate School of Business at the Namibia University of Science and Technology, NUST. He also works as the head of economics, the Department of Business Studies at the Papua New Guinea University of Technology, Papua New Guinea. He also served as professor at the Atrium Institute of Technology, Asmara, Atrium. Professor Rena earned his PhD from the Department of Economics, Osmania University, India, with the achievement of the University Gold Medal for the best PhD candidate, thesis in the field of economy, commerce, business management. He obtained his MA, BEd, MPhil, PhD from Osmania University and BA and LLB from Karthikeya University, Warangal, India. He has bagged many awards and prizes. To name a few, he obtains a Kalaya Award 2023 by the International Council for Education, Research and Training, ICERT, New Delhi, India. He also received the prestigious Best Researcher Award from the Durban University of Technology in 2022. He also got the Best Researcher 2011 from Namibia University of Science and Technology. And is also the recipient of the Esteem Award, Man of the Year 2012, which was bestowed upon him by the American Biography Institute, USA, based on his extraordinary research contributions. The American Historic Society, USA, has enlisted his profile in the World Who is Who International. He serves as the chairman of the panel of justice for judges for Economics of the Global Undergraduates, UA, award based in Dublin, Ireland, United Kingdom. He wrote 10 books and published more than 150 articles in reputed national and international peer-reviewed journal and 50 book chapters to his credit. Besides, he has published more than 150 articles in newspapers, magazines, and websites, and presented over 60 papers at national and international conference and seminar. He visited more than 300 colleges and universities. Across the globe, Professor Rena profile was featured in the Global Achiever magazine in July 2021 as one of the top 10 social leaders who inspire, and also his interview and research works has been featured in leading media outlets across the globe. He is also one of the resource persons for BRICS Research Forum International Conference in South Africa, India, and Brazil. Professor Rena is currently served as an editor of Economics and Finance Letter Journal, but published by Bean. He also served as an associate editor, The Bottom Line, TPL, Q1 Scorpio, journal published by the Emirate, UK. Both these journals index in Scorpios and Webs of Science. Is the founding editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Education, Economics and Development, IJEED, published by Index Science, UK. He previously served as an associate editor of the African Journal of Science, Technology, Innovation and Development, AJSTID, published by Taylor and France, UK, and currently serve as the Journal Advisory Board. These two journals are IBSS and Scorpio Index Journal. He served as an editor and editorial board member for more than 35 Deputy journals. He has been a keynote speaker and resource person for more than 200 national and international conferences in Europe, America, Africa, and the Asian continent. As of May 2023, his author rank is 6,351 out of 2,272,864 of the Social Science Research Network. The USA, which is among the top 1% researcher in the world. His Google Scholar citation 1,326 at index 22110 index 42. Finally, Professor Rena is armed with an in-depth understanding and striving on extensive knowledge of global economy and social issues. He has widely written in the areas of economics of education, development, economy, and inclusive growth, globalization, and higher education, macrofinance, rural entrepreneurship, WTO, clean technology, sustainable development, FDIS, and the development aids in Africa. He supervised over 60 PhDs, MPhil, and master's days and dissertations across the globe. He served on many academic and professional committees as a chairman and panel member. He has also been an external examiner, moderator for master's and PhD at different universities in Africa, Europe, Asia, North America, Latin America, and Australia. He travels to over 40 countries in the world. Now I know the reason why Y.Y.C.I International is inviting him to come and share all his wealth of knowledge, wisdom, and experience. You are welcome, sir. They you are welcome to come and share with us this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. For that kind introduction and also inviting me to the forum, which is an important forum where the transformational leadership masterclass that you consistently organizing in the better interest of our youth and the younger generations of this globe the past few years. Uh, I was part of this program earlier also, and today's topic is very important for all of us that the servant leadership is the way that we can take it to the future. This is our future, the way the servant leaders are going to play an important role in the future of the societies, the future of the globe in general. So I would like to touch upon some of the important points, Professor Lucas, that what is this servant leadership actually? Where this servant leadership is coming from, and what kind of challenges that servant leaders is facing. What are the features and the characteristics that servant leader is holding actually? And is a servant leader is a successful one, or any other types of leaders are more successful than the servant leaders? And who are those best examples of the servant leaders? So these are the things that I'd like to touch upon in today's lecture, master class. That first of all, I would like to open saying that who coined this concept of servant leadership? Then the answer would be Robert K. Greenleaf, and that is the professor who was doing a lot of research, and he also published an essay. And in that essay, he mentioned about the servant leadership in 1970. That's almost ever since I was born in 1970. That is my birth year. And so for the last 52, 53 years down the line, servant leadership has taken different shapes and different paradigms. So it has been changing over a period of time, and there are a lot of new features that have been attributed to servant leaders, and so on. So he can be considered as maybe father of the concept of servant leadership. Now the question arises is that who is the servant leader? A servant leader is the one who selflessly, honestly, with utmost dedication, with utmost uh, powerly uh, feeling where he wanted to empower other people. He wanted to collaborate. He wants to also encourage the people who has got the ability and the skill, the dexterity. So all those things he would like to uh, um, probably uh, create a scenario where he would like to encourage them to utilize their full potential. So this is what is basically a servant leader. A servant leader does not think about himself. He's always put his people first. He always thinks whatever the organization, the mission, the vision, the objective, and uh, the important elements or important part of the organization or the country or the unit that he is heading. So he would like to focus more onto the people, team building, and community building than building himself. That is what a true servant leader. But now the question arises is that what are the other features that a servant leader can hold or uphold and can try to engage, collaborate, and embrace other team members or maybe other people within the community. So that is the fundamental. And as the Yes, You Can International also got a concept called time, where you need to focus more on the training, and you need to also teach some of the youth uh, on pertinent lessons on the transformational leadership and relationship building and so on. And inspiration, I stands for inspiration, and M stands for motivation, and then the E stands for empowerment and education. So exactly as part of your time concept that you developed as part of Yes You Can International, a servant leader also must try to embrace and implement these golden principles, where he need to develop a passion, compassion, how to identify the people and where he can try to encourage them. So now the other point arises here that who are these servant leaders? Is the servant leaders are developed only for the last 52 years when Robert K. Greenleaf coined this concept or developed this concept or this theory? But is there any servant leaders that are before that? Then the answer would be there are a number of servant leaders that have been servant wholeheartedly, unconditionally, with their love, respect to the humanity, and with their selfless service to the community, whatever they are doing. Now, Jesus Christ is one of the classic examples of servant leadership. So Jesus Christ was there more than 2023 years ago. And so there was no concept of servant leaders. So servant leaders are existing from the beginning of the society or human society that is evaluated or evaluated over a period of time. So therefore, one of the classic examples one can give is that Jesus Christ is a classic example of a servant leader. And he was always keeping his people first. And he was always trying to serve the people better than serving himself. So that is a true reflection of the servant leader that was over 2000 years ago. There's so many other leaders from time to time. They brought up, and they grew as the servant leaders, and then they serve the societies and communities and organizations wherever they work, or the countries wherever they work from time to time. So these servant leaders, to take some more examples, so that Mahatma Gandhi is also yet another servant leader, although he didn't hold any political position or neither the Prime Minister of India nor the President of India. He never even taken any kind of pride in holding the power. But he served with utmost dedication and with selfless motives the people of India. And he was the one with his non-violence principle and with his peace and love principles. He fought against the colonizers, the Britishers, and he brought the independence. He also played a crucial role in the South African politics and to liberating the people of South Africa during the apartheid period, where he was staying and he was working in South Africa for more than 20 years. I visited his house in Durban. That was maybe about 6, 7 years ago in a place called Phoenix, close to Durban. It's about 30 kilometers far away from Durban city center. A Phoenix suburban area where he set up his residence there. He bought a land and he built up his own house there, and he tries to provide the community services as a common citizen or common man living or residing in South Africa those days. That was probably 1895 to 2016, 1895 to 1916, 1917, before decided to go to India and fight against the Britishers. So he was not a known person actually. He was unknown person. Nobody knows about him. Nobody knows what he was doing. He was also been imprisoned in South Africa quite a few times. And the classic example one can remember that the whole world remembers that Mahatma Gandhi, that while he was traveling by the first class train, and he got a valid ticket, and there's a station called Pietermaritzburg, which is the capital city of KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa. And in 1895 or 1896, somewhere there, he was traveling. He has to travel from Pietermaritzburg to Johannesburg. So eventually, a British officer within the train compartment, he was checking the tickets, and he went to see Mahatma Gandhi, and he found him sitting there, a black man, non-white man, who is sitting in the first class compartment. So that was one probably one of the jealous factor why this black man is traveling in the white compartment. This is only meant for the white people. So this is the apartheid. This is the discriminatory apartheid system where they were trying to discriminate whether you paid for your valid ticket or not. You should not allow to travel by that compartment. So that is, and then he was found, and they begin to scold the Mahatma Gandhi at that time, and then he pushed him out of the train, and the train left without Mahatma Gandhi being traveled. And that is, although he has got all the valid reasons, and nobody can question him, nobody can question his identity and his validity of the as a passenger. But Mahatma Gandhi take it, and then he decided to sit in that compartment. Sorry, there's a room, that waiting room. That waiting room now, I think Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to South Africa around 9th or 10th of July 2016. And Narendra Modi also traveled from the same train station to another train station for about 20-23 kilometers. And then there he he declared that with the help of or with the collaboration of the South African government, that particular waiting room in Pietermaritzburg station, now it became a museum of Gandhi. I visited there and I witnessed that when Prime Minister Modi was coming. So those are the things, and that made Mahatma Gandhi to begin to think, what is this had happened actually? What it is a injustice that was created for him, and when there is when there is no peace, and there is always a kind of a revolt. So he began to think more about that incident, and gradually he became more stronger, and he became more wiser, and he became more interested to fight against this kind of injustice and atrocities against the Britishers. So he began to write some articles, he began to educate the people, and his wife Kasturiba Gandhi was also educating the people. In fact, she was the first lady to be imprisoned. She was also a great leader, actually, servant leader. That she was also imprisoned. I visited that jail in Peter Marisburg the same time in 2016. So those are the things that taught them and empowered them as leaders. So a question arises here, ladies and gentlemen, that maybe a leader, is he born or is he made? So my answer would be definitely leaders are made through their resilience, through their hard work, through their commitment and dedication and selfless, ambition to serve the people. So that's what the leaders are made. So Mahatma Gandhi was not a leader actually. He was very shy person, and he was also very little bit coward in a sense that he's not a daring and courageous person as such. But then I read his autobiography, and based upon those facts, and I can tell that he is a very shy and very common man actually. So the common man grew up to a great leader, a leader of all the 21st century or 20th century. For the past 100 years, if you take top 100 leaders in this world, Mahatma Gandhi will also remain there in that top 100 leaders. So these things have happened, and thereafter Mahatma Gandhi decided to go to India, and then where he tried to take part in Dandi Satyagraha to fight against, because Britishers were imposing a kind of tax on salt, and salt is grown in the sea shores of India, where Arabian Sea one side, and Bay of Bengal on the other side, and Indian Ocean on the other side. So there are three different oceans that India has got, and now to produce the salt, why do we need to pay the salt tax? Actually? So that is a kind of a small fight and a small march past to protest against the British laws imposing the tax on the salt. So that is the first incident, and there are a few other incidents here and there. He has taken part. Nobody knows about Mahatma Gandhi those days, but consistently with utmost dedication and motivating the people and trying to attract the people to fight against the common cause and to liberate India. So he never lose his hope, and he was consistently from 2017. down the line. In fact, he got COVID also. The Spanish flu in those days, 2018 to 2020, sorry, 1918 to 1920, there was a Spanish flu. And Mahatma Gandhi was going from South Africa to India those days. He also got COVID 100 years back. So that, despite of that, he fought against the Britishers, against the injustice, against the evil, actually. So the good over evil, that's what he fought against. And then gradually he began to gain the momentum. And in about 10 to 15 years down the line, he became a shining hero of liberation struggle for India. And by 1937, I think he got a Mahatma, a title that was given. Maha means great, Atma means soul, Mahatma means great soul. And so thereafter he was called as Mahatma Gandhi. He was a normal Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, MK Gandhi. From MK Gandhi, he became Mahatma Gandhi. So that is the true reflection that he was fighting, and he never aspiring to be a president of something, a Congress party of those days. He was never aspiring to be the prime minister when India got liberated. He was never aspiring to be president of the country in any position, actually. He was just trying to be hand, and he was keeping the people first and trying to walk with them, work with them to show his love and affection, his commitment to the common cause, that to liberate India. And he believes in freedom. He believes in the peace and stability and the love. So that is the great change that he brought in. And of course, in 1947, 15th of August, India got independence. Then he chose Rajendra Prasad as the first president of India. And also maybe of course, there is a parliamentary democratic process in the election process, but also Jawaharlal Nehru, he was also recommended Jawaharlal Nehru to be the first prime minister of India. So, and in 1948, 30th of January, if I remember, then Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated, actually. So just less than a year or so after the independence of India, he was being assassinated by Nathuram Godse. So that is the story of Mahatma Gandhi. From novice, he was not known, he was a common man, and then he went to a great leader, or he became a great leader through his hard work and selfless services that he would like to offer. In fact, he also studied the LLB, Bachelor of Legal Laws, that is barrister in UK. Uh, After he comes back from UK, he didn't have a job those days. In 1800, maybe 1800, he was born, of course, 2nd of October 1869. And then maybe at the age of 20, 21 years of age, he completed his LLB, or 22 somewhere. Then he didn't have a job. And there was a Muslim businessman who was already working in South Africa those days. And that is he's also from the same area where Mahatma Gandhi coming from, Gujarat state. And the Mahatma Gandhi was invited by that Muslim businessman. That's how he jumped up and come to South Africa. So this is the story I would like to share. It's a true reflection of a servant leader of Mahatma Gandhi. And of course, it's not only Mahatma Gandhi, we do have several other leaders. And who are the other leaders that we can talk about? And the country where I'm staying and working, South Africa, is a great nation in the African continent. And we have another classic example, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is also the best example of servant leader. And he was being imprisoned because he was fighting against injustice, and he's fighting against crime against the humanities, and that is apartheid, the discrimination of human beings. Only white are divided and the blacks are separate. Blacks are not supposed to visit the white area, and there are so many other restrictions. And unless otherwise, they are servant maids, and then the security guards, or maybe the what do we call, the gardeners. These are the only people allowed to visit white areas. Otherwise, nobody is supposed to visit the white area. Even even till today, after independence of South Africa 29 years ago, till today, we can see such kind of discriminations. Actually, we can see some of the boards that are being written is only meant for whites, not for blacks. There are some boards in the public parks that was written, was not even taken out. So these are the things. Now, I'm choosing Nelson Mandela is yet another classic example of fighting against the probably the atrocities and also the injustice created by the white man to the black man. And he was being imprisoned. He was also a common man, but he raised himself like a great leader, with humility, with his patience, and with his ability to fight the injustice. And then, so he was probably studied a law again, like Mahatma Gandhi is also a lawyer himself, while he was trying to fight against the Britishers or the apartheid in general. And then he was also been imprisoned. Uh, and number of times he was imprisoned. The longest leader who was imprisoned almost his lifetime. That is about more than 27 years. He was staying in the Robben Island prison near Cape Town. There is a Robben Island that is known as Robben Island Prison. I visited that Robben Island a few times. And I also seen the place where Nelson Mandela was sleeping, the room of Nelson Mandela, where he was sleeping in a small carpet and small pot is there, where he was kept some water, and there was some kind of plate that was given and a small cell. And that's where he was spending almost 27 years of his life. While he was in the prison, Nelson Mandela was not even uh, uh, take rest, and he was working hard. He was trying to connect with the comrades, how to liberate the nation, and he was trying to operate clandestine way that he could try to work with other comrades and who are fighting against the apartheid. So eventually, and I also read his book, Long Walk to Freedom, and he mentioned very clearly in the Long Walk to Freedom that there is a white jailer and the officer in charge in jail. Whenever Nelson Mandela gets thirsty, and instead of giving the water to Nelson Mandela to oppress him more, he was giving a urine of the officer. And so he mentioned in his book that, ladies and gentlemen, it is that he drink more of that urine of that policeman or the jail officer, more than he drank the milk of his own mother while he was an infant baby or a child. So that is absolutely touching the hearts of every human being all over the world. Despite that fact that he was drinking the urine, instead of giving the water, he was given urine. And then after he was liberated from the jail and after he was been out of the prison, I think in 1990, somewhere in February, and then he was probably sitting in a restaurant with his comrades to have some kind of food or lunch together. And the same police officer who was giving the urine while he was in the prison for 27 years, for many years he gave the urine during that service period. And then the same police officer was also visiting the same restaurant, and we were sitting somewhere close to Nelson Mandela's table. And eventually, Nelson Mandela, I've seen that person, and he invited him to sit with them and eat with them. And that is the kind of forgiveness, actually. We all, a true servant leader, must have the ability to forgive others, ability to motivate others, ability to see the potential of his fellow team members and try to realize that potential. So that is the kind of human being Nelson Mandela, that he invited him, whereas the police officer was fearful because now this man is liberated, he's going to be the president of the nation, he's going to ruin his life. He never did anything. He rather wanted to work with them hand in hand. He wanted to establish the peace. He wanted to work in harmony, in collaboration. because it's not about the competition, but it's about the cooperation and collaboration. So that is the concept of a true servant leader, actually. So he's been there, and then he becomes the president. He's the first Black president of South Africa in 1994, May 27, general elections, ANC, African National Congress won the power, and eventually he became the first Black president. And he's the father of the nation of South Africa. And that is why we can see in the currency notes and everywhere we see Nelson Mandela's picture. So from the day one he was born, from the day one he died, sometime in December 2013, if I remember, at the age of 94 or 96 years of age, he passed on. So he only became the president of this country for one term, starting from 1994 to 1999. And he gave the power to other leader, because a true leader always believe in other leaders, or he wanted to, they don't want to create the followers, they rather wanted to create other leaders actually. So therefore, Nelson Mandela also, he tries to create the leaders, and he doesn't want to create the followers. So Thabo Mbeki was the then second president of South Africa, that he was given the opportunity to become the president. Now, if Nelson Mandela wants to remain in power until he dies, like some of the African leaders, they do, maybe Robert Mugabe or a few other presidents, Isaias Afwerki from Eritrea, and many other leaders from Angola and probably Cameroon, and so on and so forth. So there are so many, but Nelson Mandela, he served honestly with the utmost dedication, service motto, serving the people, serving the God. So with that motto, he served only for one term. Then he retired as the president. Then he began to do the social services, motivating the people, inspiring wherever he can, and try to run the show. So that is until he passed on. He was one way or the other way. He was humble. He was honest. He developed the trust not only among the blacks but also among the whites. So there are a lot of white leaders and a lot of white people begin to love him because of his humility as a leader. So this is another classic example I would like to share with you, that Nelson Mandela is also starting from 19, if I remember correctly, 1918, about 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, 105 years ago, he was born, and his centenary celebrations or birthday celebrations were also taking place. 18th of July, which is going to in the coming 16 days time. In fact, today is 2nd of July, 2023. In 16 days time, we are going to celebrate Mandela birthday. And that birthday, so from 18 July 1918 till he passed away 2013, he served the people. He tries to create unity among the people, not dividing the people. So he always believed in that humility, and you as a leader, you need to safeguard others. When there is a problem comes, you need to stand front and try to solve the problem. When there is a celebration comes, you need to stay back and let the team members of yours, let your followers enjoy the celebration. And then they will be in the front side and you will be in the back side. You will still lead as a leader. So that is also a classic example of a servant leader I would like to share with you. And there are many other leaders I can quote. Of course, Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, who is popularly known as Lenin. He was also a great reformer and a great fighter. He fight against the Bolshevik and the bourgeois kind of feudalistic societies, and he tries to bring a revolution in Russia in 1917, more than 100 years ago. And starting from his birth, 1870, until he died 1924, he also worked with utmost dedication, with a vision, with a mission that he can unite Russian people and he can try to liberate them from such kind of feudalistic uh, kind of oppressions. So there are many other leaders we can take on. Maybe Mother Teresa is yet another classic example I would like to quote here, ladies and gentlemen, that Mother Teresa, she was born somewhere in Yugoslavia, and her name is Agnes Boksha Bojaksho. That is her actual name, actually. So when she come to India, when she was very young, and maybe in 1910 she was born, and thereafter she came to India as a nun to serve the humanity, to serve the people. So serving the humanity, serving the people, always automatically you empower yourself. You don't try to look at the power and control the people as a leader, but you always be humble with your humility, with your service motto that you serve to the common man. So Mother Teresa was serving in different capacities as a servant. She was going to, there are leprosy hospitals. That leprosy was common disease those days. Probably even now you can see some of people, they got leprosy. So she was serving leprosy where they were getting some water from the hands and legs and first coming in, and she was cleaning such people. She was helping them wholeheartedly, like their, like her own children. She never married, she never has her own children, but the whole world, the human beings, became her children. So with that service motto, she was, you know, embracing the people. She was probably be resilient, and she was trying to serve those people with without any without any selfish mottos. So that make her to be one of the powerful leaders, actually. And today, and she passed on, I think, if I remember correctly, while I was working in Eritrea, that's when she was passed on. It was September 4 in 1997. And she also got Nobel Prize for Peace and International Understanding, which is one of the prestigious awards, maybe in 1979, if I remember. She got the Nobel Prize. So from that period, maybe 40 years of her life or more than that, she served until she passed on. She served the humanity. So Nirmal Hruday is an association she started. And Nirmal Hruday means heart. Nirmal means peaceful, a peaceful heart. That is the kind of organization she started, even in different parts of not only in India, but also in different parts of the world. That organization is prevalent and it's also active, working to serve the human beings and the downtrodden and the needy people. So that is why we consider Mother Teresa as a servant leader, because she was always a servant. She was always serving the people. So we even in Hindu philosophy also, when we believe that Manava Seva, Madhava Seva, that is a Sanskrit word. Manava means human beings. Seva means service. If you serve the human beings, your Madhava means God. You're serving the God automatically. So if, that is why all the leaders in this world, the great leaders that we see in the world, they always look at the society, the people first, the needy people first, actually. Not the rich man, whether the rich man is being served or not, or the man with power is being served or not, will automatically be served. But a common man who does not have any support from anybody, he must be served, he must be given the privilege, he must be given the opportunity. So that is what a servant leader always look for that. A benefit should be given to a common man, not to the rich people. That is why the people that the leaders that we are seeing today, ladies and gentlemen, that they are creating more poverty, more poor people in this world. They are not the true leaders. They are autocratic leaders, dictators actually, who look at themselves. They wanted to be richer than the entrepreneurs themselves in the country. So if you take the entrepreneur one side, who supposed to work hard throughout his lifetime and then try to create employment, try to create some innovation, try to create some business, and try to make some money at the same time or profits. That is what is entrepreneur. If a politician become an entrepreneur, if a politician become more richer than the entrepreneur, that country never flourishes. And that country always produces or manufactures the poverty of the poor people. So a politician, one side, he cannot compete with the entrepreneurs. I wanted to become rich. I wanted to be a billionaire. Like Donald Trump is also a billionaire, And of course, before he became the politician, Donald Trump became a billionaire. But a billionaire, once he come into the politics, he must be humble, serving the people, serving the nation. Nation comes first, and people comes first. That is what is important, ladies and gentlemen. So therefore, the servant leaders, they always should think about others than think about themselves. That is why the leaders can become more powerful with that humility and wisdom, and with the small change that they can bring in, small positive change, the value that they are going to add to society, one way or the other. And not leaders are always, as I indicated to you earlier, that leaders are always, they cannot lead the people. They can create other fellow uh, uh, fellow team members as leaders, not the followers. So a leader is not there to rule us, but leader is there to lead us. So these are the some simple examples of leadership, ladies and gentlemen, that Mother Teresa, therefore, will be another classic example who serves the human being. She also doesn't have any portfolio, like she never been a president or a minister or a prime minister or any kind of thing, but she empowered the people with her humility, with her dedicated service uh, motto. So, and we can take, there are, in the interest of time, I would like to take maybe another 10 minutes or so to complete my lecture today. That so, who are the other leaders? And there was a leader that I would like to quote from Uruguay, for instance. Uruguay, Jose Macrizo, or Jose, some president. He is the poorest president in the whole world, actually. Whatever he does, a leader doesn't need the money. In fact, he needs the people's hearts. As long as he could able to win the people's heart with his humility, with his service motto, and with his dedication, and lifting the people, or empowering the people, or educating the people, that is what a true leader. You don't need to become a billionaire yourself to be a leader. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we all will be leaving this world for good, one day or the other day. Our time is very short here on this planet. Some people will live 50 years, and some people may be living like maybe Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. He was living only 1870 to 1924. That is a span of about 54 years. But we still remember Lenin because of his leadership skills. So you don't need to live longer. Alluri Sitarama Raju is one of the great leader, a tribal leader from India. He also fight against the Britishers. He also passed away within maybe 30 years period or so. And we have Jhansi Lakshmi Bai. She also fight against the Britishers. She passed away when she was only 22, 23 years of age. And we also great philosopher, a spiritual leader, a servant leader, Swami Vivekananda. He also lived only less than 40 years, but 40 years something. So it is not about the amount of time that you live on this planet, but how the value that you create, what kind of message that you give into the people, how you motivate the people, how you empower them, how you create them as leaders so that they will take the roles and they keep moving and they will build the good relationship. So that is what is important. Bruce Lee, the karate fighter, he also didn't live maybe about 30 years or so of his life, but he created an impact. He's a role model. So these are the great leaders that we need to think about, and we always remember them for their selfless services that they rendered throughout their life. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, and the president of Uruguay president, he doesn't even have, he was driving, while he was a president, he was driving the old car, maybe 15, 20 years old car. While he was in the power, he could have a new cars, a new bungalow, new luxury lives, and so on and so forth. But he was always trying to reach the people. A true leader, a true servant leader is always a problem solver. He's not a problem creator. And then I also would like to quote one example that I know, that we have APJ Abdul Kalam, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was a great a missile scientist, nuclear scientist. He was raised from the zero and until the president of India. And then he was a paper boy, newspaper boy. He was circulating the newspapers while he was a child to raise some money because his parents were farmers. They were fisherman community from Rameshwaram, a place of India, a small a town. Now it's a small town, it's a little bit bigger town, but those days it's like a small village. So from that place he came, he became a scientist and he became the director. He was the one, he was considered as the missile man of India. He was the one who tried to establish the base of the missile production of India. So a defense research and research organization, that's where DRDO, he was working there as a director there. So before he became a research scientist, he was also looking for a job and he was frustrated. He wants to commit suicide himself. So from such kind of situations, circumstance, ladies and gentlemen, that gentleman with his humility, he could become president of a nation. While he was passed on recently, few years ago, he didn't leave anything behind. Whatever the flat, two-bedroom flat that he has, he already donated to some of the people and the organization. And he has got maybe about 4 or 5 suits, and maybe he has got about 2,000 or more than 2,000 books in his shelf, and maybe few clothes, and maybe about 2,000 rupees, which is probably less than about $20. That's what he left. So now we remember his philosophies, his wisdom, and the way he was throughout his life, the way he treating the other fellow human beings, he left the legacy behind. So APJ Abdul Kalam will be remembered as a servant leader also. And lastly, I would like to take one more example, ladies and gentlemen, that I remember there is a gentleman called Rajaya. He's from Telangana state of India. He was, I think he was serving as MLA, member of legislative assembly, MLA. And there is a constituency, that constituency is Bhadrachalam constituency for Telangana state of India, where he was serving there as an MLA for almost 3 or 4 times. He didn't have any car. He didn't have any kind of a nice house or a nice building. He was living in a small, very ordinary house, in a hut kind of house. And he was having only bicycle. With the bicycle, he used to go to the villages around, belongs to his constituency, listen to the people. So listening to the people is absolutely an important feature of a true servant leader. When you listen, when you understand, when you plan, when you try to encourage, that is part of the servant leader. So he was listening to the people's problems. He was trying to solve the people's problems. And while he was going, all the politicians of India nowadays, they have security guards, they drive multiple cars, they live in luxury houses. So if you're a true servant leader, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to leave, you don't need to have a security guard actually. When you are a people's person, nobody can attack you. People love you, respect you, and care for you, protect you. So therefore, if you are a people person, you don't need any kind of such luxurious life. And that gentleman, until he passed away because of the COVID complications, maybe about 2 years ago, he died. And until he died, he was serving the people with utmost care and dedication. He was keeping his people first. Even if when it's raining, while thunders are coming, in the hot climate condition during April, May, June, he was still going by bicycle and serving the people. Even in fact, when he went to the National Assembly of Telangana State in Hyderabad, India, and many number of times, he was using the three-wheeler auto rickshaw. And when he goes to the auto rickshaw, the security guard was stopping him. And when he says that, no, he's the MLA, he's the member of legislative assembly, and he need to attend the assembly meeting, people were not believing him. Because all the MLAs, they come with cars, luxury cars, security guards, maybe 5 vehicles before and 5 vehicles after, he will be in the middle, and all that kind of security, so that there's a scene that is created that no MLA or minister or chief minister is coming. Well, he was going with a simplicity and humility and humbleness. He was being questioned number of times. No, you're not MLA. Then he has to show his ID card to enter to the assembly, Telangana assembly. So these are the people that can be celebrated as the true servant leaders. That in the interest of time, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot to share because there are so many servant leaders. Even Elon Musk, what kind of leader he is, he's a transformational leader. He wants to see the creativity, innovation, and the future that we do not see the future today. He wanted to future of this world in the coming 50 or 100 or 500 years. So he wants to transform where we are today to where we are going to be. And Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook founder, is also a laissez-faire leader, actually. He believes in freedom, he believes in liberty, he believes in openness and transparency. That's why he is connecting all of us throughout the world with the Facebook concept. So there's so much to talk. Of course, we have the Jebizo, is also a very humble, polite gentleman. He's also one of the richest persons in the whole world. He was the richest man in the world a few years ago. Now Elon Musk and few other people take their roles from time to time. But no matter whatever billions that you have in your account, but when you are a leader, when you are a human being, try to be humble, try to be polite, try to respect the other fellow human beings, try to respect the other environment yourself where you are living, and try to work together, because Zulu philosophy says that Ubuntu, without you, I'm not existing. Whether I'm a leader, whether I'm a follower, whether I'm a servant, whether I'm a simple worker or employee, without you, I'm not in existence. Without you, I'm not a person. So all the people that we see today, they all become leaders because of somebody else. I also finally, at last but not least, I would like to mention that Professor Elizabeth Lucas, I know her for the past 3+ years. And I can also state that Elizabeth Lucas is also a servant leader. She wanted to bring, whether they are small kids of 9 years old, Mannath, and there are few other children that they see in our programs, from whether they are 9, 10 years old children, or maybe 70 years old mature gentlemen or ladies. She treats them equally with the love and care. And she always try to inspire them. She always try to encourage them. She always called them with some kind of titles like ambassador or doctor, professor, which can empower them mentally, psychologically, spiritually. And so she's also one of the classic examples. Because of her, there are many occasions we all from different corners of the world, whether they're India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, or maybe UK and USA, any part of the world or Europe, we are all united. We come under one platform, that is Yes, You Can International, which was founded by her. So these are the things that I would like to. Dalai Lama is also yet another spiritual leader, a great leader from Tibet. And he was always inspiring the people with his calm and with his stability, with his humility, his smile. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, in order for us to lead this world to the future, we all need to be encouraged or develop ourselves as servant leaders, where we may have tremendous challenges as a servant leader. That there may be a red tapeism in our decision making implementation, or in every aspect we may face a lot of challenges. When you are putting the people first, sometimes people they undermine you as a leader. So you may have a lot of challenges when you are working as a servant leader, but despite the fact that when you keep that legacy and when you leave that legacy behind, people first, you'll always be remembered, and for your love, care, and peace, and that harmony that you are going to create and connect the people, so that people can work together and to build the better world for us. So with these few words from my side, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thanks once again Professor Elizabeth Legas, who is a sister to me, and also the all other viewers from different corners of the world who has engaged and who has taken part in this particular show today or in this masterclass. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much for the insight into all your presentation today. I mean, one thing that is so key factor with your presentation, you led the journey of looking into other previous leaders that we can learn from their wisdom, their knowledge, and their experience. And that is also the way I personally developed myself. I have about 101 books about great leaders, what great leaders. And their inspiration inspires me to do what I am doing today. Because if you are going to be a transformational leader, you also need to learn from those that are there before so that you can channel your right message to the right people. And because I'm also a mentor of the youth globally, I need to learn. I need to develop myself. And the only way also to develop is to see others, to watch, especially those that have gone through the journey before I was even born, and to learn from them. So, I mean, your presentation today was so insightful. It's so inspiring. It's so motivation. And I really want to express our gratitude from Yes You Can International, that thank you for bringing us with that journey of learning from great leaders. Because if we are going to be a servant leader, then we need to humble ourselves and be willing to learn. And learning is lifelong. Prof, before you go, because I know you've given us almost 1 hour section, but I would like to ask few questions on behalf of some of our listeners or our participants, our learners, on their behalf, and also me particularly, because I'm curious to want to know, and I love asking questions in order to clarify what you've told us. And I want to learn more, understand it better, and also to be able to take action. My first question, sir, how can we have a servant leader mindset?
Well, Prof, that is an important question. That servant leader mindset is completely a unique mindset, where most of the people, particularly in this so-called business world, where they begin to think more about themselves than thinking about others. So therefore, the fundamentals, the characteristics, some of them that are there are so many theories also that are developed in line with the servant leadership. So the first thing is the patience. One has to be patient enough. Second thing is that humility and politeness. And then you need to, third one is love and care. And the fourth one would be dedication. Fifth one is maybe encouraging other people, motivating other people. Even if somebody has got a problem, that yes, we are here to solve the problem. If there's a conflict, we are here to solve the conflict. We need to realize that what is the truth, what is the way that we need to take it further, so that we try to correct the mistake of others, and so that we could still work together. We are all human beings. We are not Jesus Christ. So there could be mistakes by the human beings, but the error corrections need to be done. So that is why forgiveness, a servant leader always forgives the people, but he always makes sure that he realizes he meets the goals, the mission, the targets. And that is where the mindset of the servant leader, it will make an impactful in any government, in any societies, in any uh, civil service organizations, or in any kind of spiritual organizations. So the mindset need to be developed in such a manner that if somebody could able to inculcate these golden principles that I mentioned to you, and that is consciousness. That is why the leadership or servant leadership is also known as conscious leadership. You need to be conscious yourself. You need to have a clear-cut mind, and with your humility and with your honesty, and you need to develop the trust with other team members. So if you could able to inculcate these golden principles, and you could become a servant leader, and your mindset also transform from an ordinary. All these people that I quoted the example, including Martin Luther King, all these people are common people actually at one stage, but they become an extraordinary people, are incredible people in this world that we remember. We pray to them like a God because of the journey that they choose, the humility that they demonstrate, and then the helping nature that they try to develop in their mindset. So it's a natural phenomenon. It's not an artificial phenomenon to become a servant leader. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, and Madam Lucas, that these are the fundamental principles one can inculcate. It's not so easy, but we have these great leaders that taught us that it is not impossible. It is very much possible that we need to practice that. We need to become a role model. I cannot become a role model for somebody if I do not practice what I'm preaching. I hope I given that.
Thank you so much. Great, great. And
Thank
I
you.
really like the way you've shared with us again about the golden principles that we need to absorb, to allow to stay in our mind. Because what is in our mind will dictate how we perform, how we treat people, and how we respect others. Because if we don't store the right information into our mind, then we will be like any other leader out there, co-dominating and criticizing or even control the mind of people. But if you have the right mindset, positive mindset, then you will be able to be a good, effective, transformational leader. And a leader must have the mindset of serving people, not controlling people, so that when we serve people, then we are a true leader. So we should be, and how do we serve people? We need to humble ourselves, because if you don't humble yourself as a leader, you cannot serve anybody, because you will think you've had it all and you are on top and nobody can question you, nobody can talk to you. So that is way out. Thank you for the answers. I really appreciate that. And then the next one is the last question so that we can move on. As a servant leader, as a leader that serves others, how can we describe commitment and dedication to serving others?
Well, commitment, dedication, they are part and parcel of the leadership. If you are not committed, if you are not dedicated ourselves, if you do not sacrifice with our humility and with the mission that is ahead of us, the strategies that we apply, and then the target that we're going to achieve. So we need to have that kind of mindset where we need to commit ourselves. That will be the fundamental where you need to commit yourself. If you commit yourself and if you do not perform, that means if you do not dedicate or you do not show the results, then the commitment will be only for the paper's sake. It will be only the mere word without having any action. So we need the action-oriented approach, where always we believe that mind is a great servant, but it is also a dangerous master. So with that, you need to have that holistic approach and balanced approach where you try to commit yourself, you dedicate yourself, and you try to show through your hard work, you need to show the results that you achieved. So that is what is important. Prof, I think, I don't know whether I try to cover up the question, or if you have any sub question pertaining to that. If I didn't cover enough, you're welcome to ask.
Yes, I think you've answered the questions, because what I will really want to get from your end when we're talking about being committed, I like the words you said, sacrifice. Yes, because it's not going to be easy, but we need to put ourselves as an accountable. We have to be responsible. We have to be, take up the responsibility of being a leader. So, and I think that is the key words there, the sacrifice, being responsible, and also action-oriented approach, an holistic approach. And we need to balance it. And I think that is the answers to the questions that I really want to hear this morning. While you are talking, while you are answering this particular question, I know that I said that that would be the last question, but another question came out of that. And that is that we also need to know that we started somewhere before getting to where we are. So, and that is why, how can we show empathy?
Well, yes, that is empathy. Yes, please proceed.
Yeah, because empathy is also part of, we need to see the better big picture, because we know that where we are today, we were not there in this position 20 years ago or 10 years ago. But there are a lot of things that we put in place. And then the grace of God, the power of God as well, that has helped us to get to where we are. But sometimes some of us as a leader, we forgot where we started. And so we look at the picture of, I mean, I've done it before, you can do it, but then you don't know what people are going through, to where they are going. So how can, as a leader, show that empathy?
Well, that is an important question, Prof, that yeah, empathy, of course, is one of the important attributes, and is a powerful tool of any leader. It not necessarily to be a servant leader, even aristocratic leader or charismatic leader or autocratic leader and authoritarian leader and whoever they are. So if we do not possess the quality of empathy, and the empathy encompasses several things, what we've been discussing for the past 1 hour, and that caring for somebody, that I'm there for you, and creating that kind of security, the safety, the belongingness, where you belong to this particular institution, belong to this, you are part and parcel of this, you are owner of this. Without you, we cannot run. Everybody here in this particular unit, they are equal. They're working for a common mission. So that empathy that create a kind of a kind of self-respect for somebody, and also belongingness, sense of belongingness, and the pride that you could able to attribute to. So therefore, empathy plays a vital role in any leadership arena. And the skill, or somebody, a leader, should possess that character of empathy. Prof, I don't know whether I could able to cover a part of it, or maybe a little bit of it. Maybe you can help me with some more ideas.
You've already said it all. You've already said it all. And the only thing I just need to say, the only thing I just add to that, which is very simple, that I mean, what you've answered is the most important thing: caring for others and also being there. That is the key word. As a leader, let them feel that you are there, care for them. Because sometimes they can be insecure, they can have a low self-esteem, their confidence can be very low, and sometimes they are lost in belongings, even lost their identity. But you've just given us the word. If you really want to show empathy, you need to let them feel that they are important. You let them feel that you understand their story. Even if you yourself didn't experience that, what they are experiencing, but at least you can tell them that something similar to that you also have experienced. And also you make them feel relaxed with you. You know, that the leader must be approachable. So let them feel relaxed, feel free, and peace in their heart while they are with you. You know, and that helps them to move on. That helps them to be lifted or to be encouraged. So and I believe that is the key word that I really want that you've just shared with us. So I want to seize this opportunity to say thank you so much, Professor Ravinder Rena, for coming all the way from South Africa to come and educate us, empower us, inspire us, motivate us, and also train us on how we can be better as a leader to serve others. Because it's very important. Every leader must be willing and humble themselves to serve, because that is the characteristic, the core point, the core duty of every leader. Leaders are called to serve. And I love your topic. And when we say talking about leadership and we are talking about relationship, that is where this topic is very, very crucial, because if you are serving, who are you serving? You are serving people. And if you're serving people, then your relationship needs to be transformed. Because if you don't know them, if you are not willing to know them or embrace their differences or embrace their imperfection or the diversity, I wonder what kind of leadership you want to entail. So that is very, very, very important. And I want to say on behalf of our patrons and matrons and leaders and president, because you are also among our presidents, I want to say thank you so much for this valuable teaching that you have shared with us. Your wealth of wisdom, your wealth of experience and even knowledge. Earlier today, I saw your bookshelf. You are a reader. And for a leader, they need to read. It also depends on what are they reading. Because what you are reading is what you are storing into your mindset. And whatever is in your mindset will dictate how you perform. So thank you so much for this wonderful time. I know today is Sunday.
Prof.
I know today is Sunday, so you can relax for the rest of the day.
There are other commitments also I do have. So I'll be busy during the course of this Sunday as well.
Okay.
But thank you very much for that support and inspiration and giving me the platform to share some of my views. And thank you, you and your organization and all the other viewers from different parts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And to all our viewers, those that have joined us early in the morning today to come and listen and learn and also add to your knowledge and grow your mindset, we want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for willingness to want to learn. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all your questions as well. Feel free to continue to ask your questions and also to comment to it. And this video is available to everyone globally. So feel free to share it so that others also can develop their leadership and they can transform their lives and relationship. We want to say we appreciate your time. We appreciate your willingness to learn. And we also appreciate being with us today. This seminar or this masterclass started today with Professor Ravinder Rena from South Africa. But for the rest of the week from tomorrow, we have great leaders, we have great mentors, great teachers, professors that will be joining us every day to share their own wealth of wisdom, knowledge, and experience. So feel free to join us from tomorrow, 3rd of July to 8th of July, or to 7th of July for a week, and come and let us be transformed with the knowledge that we're going to gain from Y.Y.C.I International Academy. So see you tomorrow. Thank you for today. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And see you tomorrow at the same time at 10 a.m. UK time on this Facebook Live. Thank you, and may God bless you. May God keep you. Stay safe and be blessed and highly favored. Yes, you can. Thank you.